Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Shishaman. Today, I'm going to prepare a shisha using a management system called Oduman Ignis. It's basically a substitution of tinfoil paper, so you don't need to faff around making tinfoil paper and punching the holes in it. You just put the management system straight on, no tinfoil, put the coal straight in it, and it's supposed to regulate the heat so that you have a nice smooth smoke during the whole session. It's quite a basic system, but it's very, very useful. I like it personally a lot because it saves me a lot of time when I'm preparing a hookah, and it also saves me a lot of trouble fixing the coals around. When I smoke with tinfoil paper, I like to move the coals around, make sure they're in the perfect position all the time so that the tobacco doesn't burn. But with this, usually you can just put the coals straight in and you can just leave it there for the whole session. So when you're going to smoke with a heat management system like a Cloud or an Oduman Ignis or anything like that, you need to make sure you have the right bowl. See, it doesn't fit on every bowl. You might have a bowl like this and it's too big. So you need to find the bowl that fits it properly. This bowl, for example, fits pretty perfectly. And you can move it around, it's not going to fall off. If you have this bowl, for example, it's going to be too big and it's not really going to work. So you've got to make sure that you've got the correct bowl. If you have a bowl like this, it's a traditional Egyptian hookah and they're handmade, so sometimes it's a little bit rough around the edges. And if you put it on here, it may fit more or less, but there could be areas where you have air coming out. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into it. So today I'm going to be smoking Taboo. It's an up-and-coming brand, relatively new, at least here in Spain where I live. And today I'm going to be smoking Waterfall. So you want to stir up the tobacco so that you make sure that you get all the molasses, because sometimes the molasses goes all the way to the bottom and the top gets a bit dry. So you want to make sure it's nice and even. I'm using a small oyster fork because I don't like getting my fingers dirty. Not in this case, at least. So I'm just going to start packing the bowl straight away. You want to make sure you get it in there nice and light. You don't want to press down on it too hard. You want there to be a nice airflow, as always. Some tobaccos are different. Some tobaccos have different cuts. I personally like this brand of tobacco a lot because it has a nice thin cut, which makes it easier to pack, and it gives a nice airflow through the bowl. Some tobaccos, they come really thick cut with big leaves and chunks. I prefer it when it's cut nicely. Okay, so when you're smoking with a heat management system, you don't want to pack it too much. When you're smoking with foil, you can overpack a little bit if you want, but with heat management system, I don't recommend that. What you want to do is pack the tobacco enough so that the tobacco reaches the brim, but you don't want to go any higher than that, because the tobacco will just get stuck to the bottom of the heat management system, and it will burn and it will give you a really bad taste. Okay, so we've put some ice in the water, which will give it a nice, cool effect. So when we smoke, the smoke will come out nice and fresh and cool. Fresh, fresh, cool, fresh, fresh, cool, fresh, fresh, cool. So having ice in the base is going to go really well with the tobacco we're smoking today, because the flavor is called Waterfall and it's iced sweet watermelon. So before our ice melts too much, let's proceed. Here we have some mint and rosemary, which we're going to put in the base to give it a little bit of flavor and a little bit of freshness, to make it fresh and cool. Fresh, fresh, cool. We're going to give it a little slap to release the scent. And we're going to insert it with our extra long tongs. Make sure it gets in there. Now for some rosemary. Oh, it smells good. We want to lodge it between the ice to make sure it sticks in position more or less. And what you want to do is you want to kind of keep clear of the area that the stem is going to be, because you don't want any blockages. I'm going to finish off with a little bit more rosemary. Now we're going to put the hookah together. A little grommet, a rubber grommet. Okay, so I started off with 3 big coals and the lid was on. Now that it's already hot, I took the lid off and I took 1 coal out to make sure that it's not too hot. You don't want to get it too hot because it will burn straight away. That's fresh. Fresh, cool. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. Shishaman out.